Major developments overnight on your second stimulus check and second stimulus package, and developments since even this early morning. As congressional leaders battle over a lot of major issues, some of which have nothing to do with your stimulus check. One of them is whether they should extend the deadline past December 11th and basically hold off another week to make a decision about not making a decision. A bunch of people can't make a decision about anything. Meantime, they may not be able to make a decision, not because of the stimulus check, but because of Mitch McConnell's liability provision and the Democrats' bailout of state and local. Meantime, the push is underway for the stimulus check as Republicans and Democrats across the board, House and Senate, step forward and say, get it in there, what is this junk bill? And certain isolated individuals with isolated mindsets are trying to commandeer broadcast news and make it sound like no one wants stimulus check. Now it's you that doesn't want a stimulus check. So the push is underway, and we simply just don't know what's going to happen. It's an 11th hour surprise, and they got to get it done ostensibly by Friday, but that deadline could be today. Meantime, breaking news across the board that's all really exciting. This is really exciting news, is that cities, states, counties across the board are sending out stimulus checks, stimulus rent, stimulus utilities, and since last night, a few more stepped forward and said, we're going to give about $5,000 to our residents. We're about to give $5,000 here and $5,000 there. Meantime, last night's Fertile Power Live was absolutely a blockbuster, as viewers came forward and volunteered to new states like Rhode Island, Delaware, Texas, El Paso, and that have been giving free rent, but from privates. What are a private? I'll have more about those details as well. And what's going on for your $2,400 of SSI and SSDI, your FPUC, your PUA, your UI expire in a few days. So many breaking details. I'm going to try to get it done in one video. I'm so glad you joined me, but you didn't bring the bacon again. This is Tuesday morning's LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning's LALATE. I'm so glad you joined me on an exciting day in which you really can't predict anything that's going on from Congress. But for the states, they're very predictable. Coming forward with more states, cities, and counties giving free money across the board. I told you this was going to happen. Between now and December 15th, which is really just a few days away, cities and states are saying, you know what, we found some extra money from CARES Act 1, and we're going to send it out to you. The latest date that they could possibly do this is about December 31st, but many have a shorter window, just the next few days. And some of them are announcing them, and thousands of viewers are getting the money by the second, or citizens by the second. And you can't miss this money opportunity at all. So please subscribe to this channel. Go to the front of this channel, subscribe, and also hit the alert button. There's a little bell there. Hit that bell, because I'm going taped, I'm going live. I'm going to be announcing 2 more cities today that I got an announcement from minutes ago that have $5,000 rent stimulus is just announced. Then last night on Fertile Power Live, 3 more states and 4 more opportunities to get rent across the board in states which you thought there was no money. There is money. And we have an incredible new page. It's news.lalate.com/community. I'll drop in the links above. That's news.lalate.com/community. 9 volunteers that are getting you they're helping get you this CARES Act 1 money. And 1 volunteer that's helping you get EIDL get approved. Because that, I think, is going to shut down in a few weeks as well. I think they're going to run out of money in just a few days. So I want you to get all these things in. It's so exciting. No one's helping one another as a community of people helping one another like this channel. So please subscribe. Also, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. We've been ranking number 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 overnight. I think we're doing a good job, but we got to keep it up. Got to keep it up, because UFOs take your stimulus check should not be ranking. In this video, I'll be going over why you didn't give me bacon. Then I'll be turning to Congress. I'm explaining what's going on, and what I want you to understand is that there's some very bad congressmen that want to sell these pitch of news stories to tell you this is happening and that's happening, and they're just totally wrong. So you may hear some congressman say something and it's just totally wrong, and they're intentionally telling you wrong stuff because they want to silence naysayers or silence people who don't agree with them. So I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on, not what isolated congressmen want to tell you. Then I'll be turning to the states, and I'll be going over this incredible free money that's being rolled out across the board. Then the $2,400, I'll go back to Congress, and what will happen in January, that $2,400 for SSI and SSDI, the multiple stimulus checks, the hazard pay, the FPUC, retroactive to August. Then I'll deal with the real big issues, which is in just a few days. What's going on with UI? What's going on with my PUA? What's going on with my EIDL? What's going on with my eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance? I'll cover those details as well. So many elements, so much details, and so much breaking news since just early morning to LA. I'm so glad you joined me. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news, as you sit here this morning, is that we really just don't know what's going to happen with Congress. Why? Because one, and I'll repeat, one news article last night said that Congress is potentially going to extend the December 11th deadline by 1 week. Now, repeat, that's one news article, and that one news article was cited by a lot of places. Now, it's a very reliable news site. I'm not discounting it at all. But it said that they want to extend it to December 17th so that the government does not shut down on Saturday. Isn't it such a tragedy that they would not get their stimulus, they get their own salary check for 1 or 2 days so that they can delay giving us a stimulus check? It's just, needless to say, what you should be doing on social media this morning is making sure the message is very loud and clear. Do not do an extension of the deadline. Do not do an extension of this deadline. Let me give you an example of why the Congress should not do an extension of the deadline. First, they really don't have an agreement on this thing. There is no bill, so I'm calling it the thing. There is no bill. No one has written a bill. They can't even agree upon drafting of the bill. So that thing, they can't agree upon the thing, and they can't agree upon the thing for more than one reason. I'll get to the reasons in a second. Second, it doesn't look like they may ever agree upon the things. Third, the fact is that extending it 7 days is emotionally not good for a lot of people. And I'll tell you why. It's obvious. It takes 10 days from after they pass a law for anyone to ever get any money. Well, 10 days from December 11th is December 18th. Excuse me, 7 days after December 11th is December 18th. 10 days after December 17th is after Christmas. Millions of Americans need money before Christmas. It is emotionally an issue to say, I'm going to give you the money after Christmas. And here I want to make something very clear to you. A lot of the things that they're talking about in the provisions, which I'm going to get to in a second, would never, ever get you the money before December. The things that they think they're giving a relief to millions of Americans, even businesses, they're not going to see this money for a while. Stimulus check is the fastest thing you could get. You get it within 10 days. So that's reasons why they should not extend the deadline. Now, let's go to the deal provisions and go over what's going on. What's going on is the following. There are two proposals. There is Mitch's proposal, which is $500 billion, and there is the problem creators, Tom and Jerry, that are joined by Mr. Cassidy from the Partridge family out of Louisiana. And they, and Mitt and Manchin, have you gone to his mansion? They all want $900 billion. There are problems on both sides of these proposals. First, the problem with Mitch's proposal is, for purposes of Democrats, is there's a liability provision, which basically says if you walk into a business and a business owner coughs in your face accidentally, you can't sue, and you get COVID and you die. You can't sue the business owner because it was accidental, even though they intentionally walked up to your face and coughed in your face. On the other side, the Democrats have a provision in there of state and local money, $300 billion, which Republicans have said for 7 months they would never give that money. Now, suddenly they would give the money. And Democrats have for 7 months said they would never give liability provisions. Now they would give liability provisions. It's causing millions of Americans to wonder, where's the integrity of these elected officials? Because for 7 months they never gave you stimulus based upon provisions they said were dead horses on arrival. And now suddenly they're ready to embrace the dead horse? It's not very particularly clear. Then there is this. The stimulus check remains a big battleground, but not as much as Mitch McConnell's liability provision. The battleground heated up yesterday as Representative Josh Hawley, which you should support. He is doing a very good job, and you'll hear from me first, and you can repeat my words to him. He's a Republican out of Missouri and a former attorney general. He's doing an extremely good job on this issue. He says that millions of Americans need a stimulus check because there's no other type of relief. Amen. The people who need relief are poor people. Are poor people who have lost their jobs or never had a job. Senior citizens, veterans, disabled people. They need stimulus checks before rich business owners who have millions of dollars in the bank and have gotten opportunities for stimulus before, not 1, 2, 3, but 4 times. People who have no other source of stimulus relief, or what is called relief, need a stimulus check, is what he said. He also said that the president, in speaking with him, President of the United States, Donald Trump, would potentially veto any proposal that does not have a stimulus check in there. Now, Republicans and Democrats, House and Senate, simply, I've said very loud and clear, they're not going to support it unless there's a stimulus check in there. You have to get that message out loud and clear. You have to get the message out and loud and clear. Hashtag stimulus check or shutdown. So take this video and support and tag it with the people that support the messaging. The people who support the messaging overnight are, and these are new, some of these are new people, that want stimulus checks: Elizabeth Warren, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden's transition team, which is like 47-something transition. Start with the word transition, you'll find it right away. Josh Hawley, which is Hawley. Then, and I think I said Bernie Sanders. And then there was like 2 others. Basically, all the progressives in the Democratic Party want a stimulus check as well. Then you want to tag all the people who are not against the stimulus check but have not made a decision. That is Mitch McConnell's chief communications director, his press secretary, Mitch McConnell, the president, Steve Mnuchin, and Larry Kudlow. Finally, you want to say the message loud and clear to the naysayers who don't know their math and are simply trying to do a fake narrative. And those naysayers are the problem creators, Tom and Jerry, which is actually Tom and Josh. Then Senator Cassidy out of Louisiana, who should not even be an elected official. He should just get out of office. He's just awful. And then also Manchin and Romney. What's important to understand is that the negative comments coming from the other side about a stimulus check don't make sense. Overnight, Lindsey Graham says, a stimulus check would kill the deal. Really? It was no less than a week ago that Lindsey Graham says, I support the Problem Solvers Bill. Let's just get the Problem Solvers Bill passed and we'll be done. Lindsey, did you ever read the Problem Solvers Bill? Did you ever read it, Lindsey? Do you read? I know you read the comics. Did you read the bill? The bill had 2 stimulus checks in it. You said you supported a bill less than a week ago that had 2 stimulus checks in it. Now you say you don't want a single stimulus check? This is what's the problem with these. That's the problem with these congressional leaders. I don't think they read anything. I think they're lazy as hell. I just don't think they even look at anything. Nancy Pelosi 4 or 5 days ago said she would never agree to anything unless a stimulus check. Now she's agreeing to something that has no stimulus check in there. Joe Biden says that we need to have a stimulus check in here, an eviction moratorium. So why is Nancy Pelosi supporting something that doesn't have something in there? Then, should I continue? Representative Lindsey out of Louisiana gave the worst pitch that you could possibly give yesterday. He said there's not enough money in a $900 billion bill to do a stimulus check that costs $300 billion. Really? Really? Guess how much it costs to do a stimulus check in this bill? Zero. I'll do the math for you. And I'll have Larry Kudlow pull out his calculator and do it for you as well. Larry Kudlow last Friday on Squawk Box CNBC Early Morning News said, you know what? There's $600 billion at SBA. We can repurpose that for this stimulus CR bill. Well, $600 billion is 2 stimulus checks. So not only is there enough money for 1 stimulus check for free, there's enough for 2 stimulus checks for free. So that doesn't work, Senator Cassidy. Gotta get a new song. Next, he also said this is not a relief. This is not a stimulus bill. This is a relief bill. So what's the relief that they have in Louisiana? What type of relief do they do in Louisiana? Evicting people on January 1st and throwing them on the thick of snow, if there's snow in Louisiana. I don't know if that's cold enough climate, but throwing them on the snow on January 1st in the thick of winter because an eviction moratorium has expired. Is that relief? I think it's relief to property owners and banks. How about taking people's houses in foreclosure on January 1st? Is that relief? Oh, yeah, I guess it is for maybe big banks. Who's supporting you, Senator? Who's supporting you? Because the relief you're referring to is not relief for millions of Americans who are going to be evicted on January 1st. Doesn't cost anything for eviction moratorium. Let's try that story again as well. Costs a lot of money, right? And then mortgage forbearance. Costs a lot of money to do mortgage forbearance? No, it doesn't. Zero. So all your stories about why you don't have things in there don't line up. And that's what millions of Americans are saying, enough already. Now, who else is also saying enough already? States. States have really been the guardian angels in the last few days. I told you it was going to ramp up, but I didn't expect it was going to be a ramp up this well. This is the great news for Tuesday morning. Cities, states, counties across the country are stepping up and saying, you know what? We don't like the situation for you, so we're going to help you with money. With money and things that are going to land in your hands in the next few days. So here's what they're doing. Across the country, states are doing the series of a few things. First, they're doing stimulus checks. The normal stimulus check, $1,200, $375. Those states are all across the board. And I want you to stay tuned because they're going to be more states. So we got Colorado, we got New Mexico. Then we have city, states, and counties that are doing, Orange County, Florida also did a stimulus check. Then we're doing, they're doing free rent stimulus, and that is just hitting left and right. So that's City of Houston, City of Atlanta, County of San Diego, the City of New York, the entire state of New York, brand new, every county in Georgia. These places across the board are announcing free rent stimulus. And this is on top of the ones that we've had for weeks, like Miami-Dade, Broward County, Palm. A lot of those are closing because they've been going on for about 12 weeks. Today, we have some new announcements across the board as well. Nashville, Tennessee, doing one today as well. Then we have Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, PA, that's doing a $5,000 rent grant. And we have Stark County that is doing a free rent grant as well in Ohio. Generally, they're about $5,000, up to $5,000. Sometimes they're $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Then, boy, if you did not turn into Purple Power Live last night, we now know that privates, which are national, religious, or nonprofit charities, have been paying viewers a lot of money on free rent. This is $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And we now know they are the following states in which viewers of this channel have gotten free rent because of the privates. Private nonprofits or religious groups. Mississippi from no less than 3 different groups. Philadelphia. Indiana from 2 groups. Las Vegas, Clark County also has a county rent program. Kentucky, Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan, Arizona, Georgia. And then last night we learned in Rhode Island, 2 organizations are paying money in Rhode Island. In Delaware, 1 organization. In Texas, another one. In El Paso, a specific organization just for El Paso. And then 1 organization is paying heating bills across the country. Finally, 1 bank was praised last night on Purple Power Live for doing mortgage assistance for COVID issues. So if you're having problems making your mortgage as well, really exciting news. So that's the second type of stimulus that's coming out from your states. The third type is utilities. There is nearly no state that I'm aware of that is not paying stimulus for utilities. So please go get it. If you've listened to this and you've gone to your city hall, your city's website, your county's website, or your state housing authority's website and looked up utility assistance, rent assistance, those are keywords, rent assistance, or call them on the phone saying, hi City Hall, hi County Hall, hi State Housing Authority, do you have any rent assistance, and can't find it, go to the new community page, which is news.lalate.com/community. I'll drop in the links above. Again, there's 9 volunteers on there that are able to assist you nationally. Remember the keywords you need to look for when you're calling up your local jurisdiction is rental assistance. Finally, make sure you reach out to volunteers. If someone reaches out to you who you have never heard from before, do not respond to them. They're generally spammers trying to prey on people who don't know what's happening or trying to sell you some horrible Bitcoin scheme. Next, it's important to understand that $2,400 for SSI and SSDI is still on, and a lot of other things are still on in January. Let's go over them right now. First, $2,400 for SSI and SSDI. That would be $200 a month, every month going to December 31st. Second, an increase lifetime, upwards of 20%. Third, a new benchmark that would raise your benefits annually. That new benchmark would be different than COLA. Now, other things that would be coming in January from Joe Biden. FPUC retroactive to August at $600 a week. Then multiple stimulus checks. He's promised you multiple stimulus checks. You're owed multiple stimulus checks. Hazard pay, EIDL, 2 rounds, Lifeline grant, and CDC grant, rent grant, and food grants. Meantime, what's going on with your UI and PUA? With just a few weeks away, it's unclear. Some states have really done their last step up of really trying to be guardian angels, and they're offering additional weeks of UI as your UI weeks are about to expire. If your state has still not announced it, go to your state's website and set up for all alerts, so you get a text alert or an email alert from your state if your state extends benefits. Finally, the federal government in both these proposals to CR are proposed to extend your UI benefits. They just got a few days to get this done. An extension of UI and extension of PUA. My belief is if they get this bill, the CR done, you will get that in there. But that's where we sit today. A lot of breaking developments. Coming up next is at 12 noon is Holidays LA. As always, subscribe to this channel. Also like this video. Stay in tune, stay in touch, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.